Do windows on your house look like this? Neat, clean, boring? Well, this is what I ended up with after having an addition done on my house. And you can see even the side windows. They're pretty, but they're pretty boring. Watch what a little work will do. Wow, you can frame it and make it look beautiful. Take a look here. These are the materials you're going to use to make a job like the one I did above me here. That's been up there for 15 years. What'll hold it up there is this cementitious, it's hard to say, cement-like material that you put on the back of this foam form. These forms come in all different kinds of varieties, so you'll have to pick your own. They're pre-primed, so I just painted it before I put it up. Now, with this material, you can stick it up there and it's just like glue. Foam on the back, a little layer of cement on the front. Now, the next thing you're going to see that I used is a scaffold. You can use a chair or a small step ladder like the one I have over there, and that'll do the trick. This seems a little bit primary, but I just used a plastic salad bowl and a plastic ladle to mix and scoop it out and ladle it right on the back of the forms. It worked very well. The next thing you're going to see is the scissors. It's always nice to have one around. And then I use some cement concrete nails and a hammer to drive them in case I needed to put them into the stucco. Frog tape, and I'll let you know later why I use this material. And then you can see I have a little bag here that has some drop cloths that are plastic, 9 by 12. I got 3 of them for $5. And this is a steel punch I use to punch into the stucco. And those are basically the materials I needed. You can see over there, there's a water bucket with a rag in it so I can do a wipe down. And with all these, you're ready to go. Let's take a look at how it's done, okay? To get started, we get these 8-foot lengths of this material, and you can see I have painted it. I put 2 coats of paint on this before I attempted to put it up. I think next time I would only put 1 coat because I find that when I'm putting it on the wall, I get enough cement fingerprints all over it that I have to paint it again anyway. This material was $15 per 8-foot section. Here's the best way I came up with measuring for cutting these pieces. I found that I want to have about a 3/4 inch gap between my molding and the window itself. And the way I did that is, I'll take this away for a second. I have a piece of wood that's cut 3/4 inches, and I go like this. I line it up, and then I make a line. And then I go this way, and I make a second line. And then I take and I use a metal punch, put it at the crisscross, and tap it in there so I know where that's going to come. The cross piece is going to be right like that. And then the other one is going to sit right into it and go vertical from there. So that's the way I will measure from this point to a corresponding point like that on the other corner, the top corner, and the cross corner. Just to give you an idea of the simplicity of cutting this material, you can see this is all styrofoam and about a 1/4 inch of cement across the top. And I've painted it with 2 coats of paint already, but if I take this and put it in a hand miter box, now this saw and a miter box that comes with it is about $15, and during the course of a small job you will ruin this saw. It'll wreck the blades, but I would rather do that than get dust in my power saws. And you can see there's a nice 45-degree cut. It's going to come together and make a nice 90. when you put it together like that. So it looks good. I'm going to use some of this green frog tape because it's supposed to have a real clean line when you pull it away and no paint seepage. I had that problem with the blue tape. So I'm going to demonstrate quickly how I put this around the window and attach the plastic to it. Now take the frog tape and press it really tightly down with my fingernail against the window material. And then I reach underneath the plastic and touch it to the tape all the way around. You can see here this is all of 5 minutes and it's tightly wrapped and won't have any problem with drips. Basically, it's a cement that's made for sticking foam forms. It says it right here, form shapes onto walls. And it is like a glue. It sticks rather well. And watch how I mix it. You guessed it, a salad spoon. So I'm going to take and put a little bit of water in here. And just kind of let it soak in a little bit and mix it around. This process takes a little while. So that's about right now. Here's something I came up with to help me out a little bit during this job. I'll take my spacer and put it right here and make it parallel to that green tape right on the edge. And then below that I'll put a section of this material that I'm putting. And then below that, right at the edge there, I'm going to put a concrete nail and I'm going to tap it in. I'll put a second one down the way, and when I go to place this in, my space will be that 3/4 inch I was looking for all the way across. Now with my spacer nails in place, when I put the wet mud on here, I can just come over like this, set it here, spin, and line up the little dots in the corner that I made, and then just kind of wiggle it back and forth and hold it in place until it sets, and these nails will even help me hold it in place. That's a pretty nifty trick. Now for the fun, ladling on the mud, squishing it in a little bit, laying it on the nails, and now I set the corner, get up on my scaffold like an old man. I'm 71, you know, and I'm still doing this stuff, so I'm really praising God for that. And I knock it into place. The vibration spreads the mud around a little bit, making sure all the points are there. I check the 3/4 inch gap along the edge, and now I'm going to apply some pressure in the corner. A little bit of mud on the edge. Oops, better get the angles right. Flip it around, drop it in, wiggle a little bit, and oh boy, it's right on the money. This became my real lifesaver. I picked it up at a local tile shop, and it's similar to something you would use to decorate cakes with. Now watch how it works. You take this plastic fixture, it is inserted inside the fabric tunnel, and then when you apply the cement material inside the funnel, you squeeze it out much like you would squeeze toothpaste out of a tube of toothpaste. When you're squeezing it, you have to have the material mixed so it is fairly watery, really loose pancake batter. And then you just shovel it in and get ready to apply. Just a warning here, don't overfill this funnel. The first time I did it, I put a whole bunch in there and it was so hard to squeeze it out, I had to dump it and try again. So I just fill it up with maybe 2 cups. Notice I roll with one hand and the left hand squeezes, and you need both hands doing their work at the same time. You can lay it down beautifully here. And notice it's a little bit wiggly, but you're going to come back with your finger and press that into place. So after you've pressed this down with your fingers, you can take something like a washcloth, a wet washcloth, and just kind of rub it down. And this gives it that smoother texture all the way and kind of pushes it into the stucco for a good grip. And actually, surprisingly, when you paint that up, it looks really nice. Take a look where I put this seam, where there's a little gap there. I just smeared some of this cement material over it, and I can go back with like a washcloth and wipe away the extra, and then what's left is what is filling the seam. And it's as easy as that. After I paint that, you'll barely notice it. So I can just go over this little seam right here, and you can see it quickly disappears from view. Almost like magic. This is the completed material with trim and painted, and you can see the border that I put here. This is the new material, and I painted right up to the edge there. It's not perfect, but for the eye outside, it's GE good enough. And you can see this ramp down here, how it comes down from the window. And here it is. Looking from one side of the house, you can see the trim, and from the other side, and most importantly, my most important critic, my wife, is very happy with the job done. Thanks for watching.